Hello and oh crap. Hello and welcome to letter G. It's Gummo. Letter G is Gummo. So, to contrast watching a very trashy movie, put on a very trashy shirt, but it's gonna be the first video with my new mic. So, already to a great start. The debut from, I don't want to say acclaimed, but recognized director Harmony Korine, who before this wrote the Larry Clark film Kids, which is only really famous for being referenced in the Eminem song Guilty Conscious. But no, this is his debut, and it's a debut, alright. So Gummo kind of transcends narrative film, really. Like, there's this little to no plot. There's kind of setups, I guess, and little payoffs. But what it is just this like journey. Not even journey, just this what it is we were looking at like this town in Ohio. Don't remember what it's called, but it's based off a real town. And all we got is there was a tornado in the 70s, and we are basically seeing how it's affected this town. And we see all the strange little vignettes and all the interesting characters that exist in this town. And if we do have two main characters that kind of lead us through this whole endeavor, on the letterboxed description, it says teenagers, but I guess one could be 19 and the other could be 13. I guess that counts. But I don't even remember their names because it's not important. But yeah, it's these two teenage boys going around and killing cats, and they take them to like a grocery store, basically cash them in. But none of that's really all too important, other than to be the vehicle for. I guess but we don't really follow them. I guess they're like the vehicle for us to kind of explore this town. But it's not like, okay, like it starts with them like, but there isn't really like connecting dots from this vignette to another vignette. I mean, at the beginning there seems to be, but after a while we kind of just lose. And it's like, oh, where are we heading? Well, we don't know. A lot come out of random. My favorite would probably have to be maybe the director himself. He makes a cameo, and he just tells this so like strange story. And there's like a black dwarf next to him, and I guess yeah, just stuff happening. It's just stuff happening. Oh, and I didn't even mention, like, there's a strange, just like, child, I guess, and wearing pink rabbit ears. And he's really who we start out with watching, and he's just kind of just, I guess he pops up every now and then, and he's also like one of the last shots too. So, mm. Oh, and in all of that, we have like what I presume is like VHS footage or whatever kind of recording device was used in '97. They would film it. It would of course look like grainy home video. Then I guess wherever, because you could tell they're filming like some kind of screen, but it's like so close that like you can't really tell. And that didn't make sense. I said you could tell, but then I said you couldn't tell. Well, if you watch it, you could tell. So after our, like, what? What am I even talking about? And there's just like there's this strange kind of humor all going around in this film. Some of it is funny. Some of it I don't think is all that too funny. I guess it just depends. Usually I am one for like unintentionally like kind of comedic things or a bit more drier. But not that it doesn't do it for me, but just like I was more uncomfortable, which is interesting. I don't really get uncomfortable while watching films all too much. This is like, unless it's supposed to or whatever. But this is like, I guess I was really kind of hyped up and told like this gets like so intense. You're just sitting there and like you're questioning what's going on. And I did get moments of that, but I was really expecting it to be more funny, so it's more of like an expectation that I had on myself rather than the film. I expected myself to really enjoy it a lot more than I did. Not saying that it's bad for that, and that like, oh well, I was disappointed, so that means other people will be disappointed. I guess it depends if you find the humor in some little girl getting a magazine page of Burt Reynolds, putting it up to her face like she's wearing someone's skin, and saying, "I want a mustache like Burt Reynolds." And that scene specifically, actually, I guess was a little kind of, ooh, it might be like the weird droning sounds. And it might have been the weird droning sounds in the background that made me kind of just more uneasy rather than like being like I could get behind this. I guess I could get to my next point of it, like clearly being a debut. There's a couple shots where like the camera's out of focus and some strange choices, mainly with the soundtrack. It just sounds like the Clerks soundtrack. So I guess whatever was popular in the '90s. There's a good use of I'm trying to remember this guy's name, but in the In Dreams guy, Roy Osborne, whatever. The song is called "Crying." I read the credits. And that was used when showing, I guess, more VHS grainy footage of tornadoes. And that's at the very end. I liked that use of soundtrack music. I mean, Harmony Korine is definitely a unique voice. I'll be checking out from. You might have seen Spring Breakers in 2011, I think. That was kind of like his breakout. Even I heard of it at that point, and I wasn't even in the double digits of age. So he's making a lot less movies now. I think recently, The Beach Bum, and that was 2019. There was like a little gap there, but yeah. And in my Dancer in the Dark review, in my Dancer in the Dark recommendation, I brought up something called Dogma 95. Not explaining it here, but in learning more about Harmony Korine, I was kind of surprised to learn that he made a Dogma 95 film, officially labeled as Dogma 95, in, I believe, 99. Yeah. Which is interesting because I kind of assumed Dogma 95 was exclusively for Danish directors, so I don't know. Maybe I'll go through his whole filmography and make a more in-depth, I can't even say analysis because make a more, maybe I'll go through his whole filmography one day, maybe go get more in-depth, then hopefully just saying like, well, this is what happens. Because I think there's a bit more to bite on here. I mean, it's his most famous work. It inspired that 6ix9ine song. I don't know if it did, but hey, kind of cool if it did. I mean, 6ix9ine looks like he could be in Gummo. A soft reboot maybe. That's what this needs.